हेलो सैसी नारी, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग मी टुडे। साल के लास्ट 16 एपिसोड में आई हैव ब्रॉट गोल्डन नगेट्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर यू। 2023 में I released 33 episodes, which means a lot of useful information for you. And to finish the year, I decided to compile 5 super valuable ideas in one episode. इसमें सिर्फ 5 takeaways हैं, पर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बाकी सारे episodes कम valuable थे. It's just that I feel कि these tips cover some of the most important topics for many women like us. तो इस एपिसोड में आप सुनेंगे लीडरशिप कोच श्वेता शिवरामन की इजी जर्नलिंग टिप, साइकाइट्रिस्ट एंड थेरेपिस्ट डॉक्टर एरा दत्ता की मेडिटेशन टिप फॉर दोज हु कांट मेडिटेट, योगा इंस्ट्रक्टर एंड स्पाइन स्पेशलिस्ट शशि शारदा की टिप आपकी बेस्ट बोन हेल्थ के लिए, क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट प्राची वैश्य का सजेशन आपको मॉम गिल्ट से बचाने के लिए, और trueBrowns की फाउंडर उदिता बंसल की एडवाइस अपकमिंग वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए। Before hearing these unmissable ideas, please follow Little Fixes on your podcast app and share it with a friend you care about. Hey Sassy Nari, welcome to Little Fixes. This is your host Matri, a social media professional, a mother and a simple yet sassy woman just like you. Join me for 3 simple and practical ideas that help you in transforming into your best self. This mental health and personal growth podcast is a reminder that you matter. First up, let's hear what psychiatrist and therapist Dr. Era Dutta has to say about meditation for people जिन्हें मेडिटेशन के नाम से ही एंजाइटी होने लगती है.
So Dr. Era, give me a sassy comeback when someone tells me for the nth time that you need to meditate and you are missing out if you don't.
Tell them that I meditate with a difference, that I meditate with the Dr. Era way, which is on the go, easy to do, 5 minutes only, and it doesn't involve sitting on the floor and closing your eyes sometimes.
Okay, so what is the Dr. Era way? We want to know. And also we want to know कि मेडिटेशन के सिवा और क्या चीजें हो सकती हैं जिससे हम लोग अपने आप को सेंटर कर सकते हैं.
Sure. My way is very practical and simple. Honestly, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम सबके पास टाइम की बहुत कमी है and we all have the paucity and the lack of patience also, unfortunately. But luckily, meditation builds that. I enjoy the mindfulness way of meditating a lot more than the more transcendental school of thought. Transcendental school of thought मतलब वही mind को खाली करना, एक point पे observe करना. काफी लोग chanting वाला way of meditation पसंद करते हैं. मेरे लिए नहीं work करता है. Some people enjoy it. I've enjoyed it in the past, but for me, mindfulness works out the best. Simply being more in the now than anywhere else. So जब आप गए थे तो मैं अपनी वेव्स देख रही थी. यहाँ पे बहुत सुंदर वेव्स दिख रही हैं रिकॉर्डिंग की. एंड आई वाज ट्राइंग टू सी दैट हाउ दे आर डिफरेंट व्हेन आवाज आती है, जब आवाज नहीं आती है साइलेंस में. समथिंग एज स्मॉल एज दैट, एंड व्हेन यू डू दैट आपकी ब्रीदिंग ऑटोमेटिकली उसके साथ सिंक हो जाती है या कर भी सकते हैं, राइट? सो माय मोस्ट प्रोफाउंड एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ मेडिटेशन विद ओपन आईज हैज बीन द माइंडफुल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ my little one putting a small snail on my hand. I remember in the pandemic, and us watching that snail wiggle around and walk away from here to here, which may have taken God knows how long. मुझे नहीं पता, मैंने घड़ी नहीं देखी. No videos of that, because that experience was so profound कि उसकी वीडियो लेने के पीछे हम काफी बारी मोमेंट खो देते हैं. But that sensation, that joy on her face, on mine, because मैंने भी कभी नहीं किया था. I was also a kid. Those kind of open experiences can be mindful experiences that you can go for. So, जो भी कर रहे हैं अगर fully कर सकें, that is also meditative, right? And meditation के साथ इतना negative connotation हमने इसलिए जोड़ दिया है क्योंकि हमने उसको बांध दिया है कि इतने मिनट ही करना जरूरी है और ऐसे ही करना जरूरी है. So let's reform it. Why can't we meditate for 1 minute 3 times a day? मैं literally लोगों को कहती हूँ 1 minute 3 times a day start करिए, 3 minute और 1 को भी मत करिए, 25 मिनट तो छोड़ दीजिए, right? So I started with 1 minute. I went on to 3 minutes, then 5 minutes. मैं फिलहाल 12 मिनट पे हूँ. मैं अगर 20 मिनट ट्राई करती हूँ, मैं सच बता रही हूँ, लास्ट के 8 मिनट even I struggle. But 12 मिनट I try कि ये अच्छे से हो जाए. Again, अच्छा is not the judgment call, but ये करने is better than, और कभी कभी 5 मिनट करके 3 बार भी करती हूँ, simply because paucity of time, like I said, right? So my way is extremely practical, extremely experiential, absolutely anti-perfectionist. I'm very dead against perfectionism, especially when it comes to meditation. And it is more real life based. मतलब आप अपने मोबाइल फोन को लेकर भी मेडिटेट कर सकते हैं. अगर आप ब्रीदिंग करते करते सिर्फ इसके साथ सिंक कर जाएं तो नोटिस करिए इट्स वेरी सिंपल टू डू. जितनी बारी करेंगे आप अपनी एटलीस्ट मेडिटेशन के अगेंस्ट नेगेटिविटी ब्रेकआउट करना स्टार्ट करेंगे, राइट? तो धीरे धीरे आंख बंद करना आसान हो जाएगा, but you have to start somewhere. So I always say, start with open eyes. Why do you need to even shut your eyes? My way is that way of practicality and not definite boundaries, so to speak.
सो अभी डॉक्टर एरा ने हमें करके दिखाया कि मेडिटेशन मोबाइल के साथ कैसे कर सकते हैं. फॉर दोज हु आर लिसनिंग, she just had her mobile phone in her hand and she was running her fingers around it, like around its edges, and it is very simple, as she said. And she was breathing. Yes.
And you're always breathing. I mean, that's one thing you can't stop. ना वरना तो आप मर जाएंगे. तो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ, what is the one thing that you do every day? And people give me a lot of funny answers. And I say, nah, you are always breathing, right? तो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ लोगों को, अगर मोबाइल उठाने से पहले भी ये करोगे, फालतू में इंस्टाग्राम नहीं चेक करोगे. You're bringing mindfulness to it, right? So that's my way. But yes, there are a couple of other ways also that you can center yourself.
Now it's time to work on our mom guilt with clinical psychologist Prachi Vaishya.
जब हम बच्चों से गुस्सा होते हैं तो हम उनको तो समझा देते हैं, बट अपने आप को नहीं समझा पाते, है ना? गिल्ट वाली फीलिंग आती है, या फिर जैसे हम बच्चों के साथ इनफ टाइम नहीं स्पेंड कर पाते तो गिल्ट शेमिंग वाली फीलिंग आती है. तो इस तरीके की जो फीलिंग्स होती हैं, इनसे डील करने के लिए हमें थोड़े से और आइडियाज चाहिए आपसे.
एक तो मैं वही शुरू में जो हमने कॉन्वर्सेशन किया, आई थिंक एवरी मॉम हियर कैन डेफिनेटली स्टार्ट डूइंग इज स्टार्ट डिस्टिंग्विशिंग बिटवीन शेम एंड गिल्ट. मतलब सिर्फ कैच ही कर लोगे आप ना, तो 25% ऑफ द बैटल इज वन. अगर आप ये कैच करना शुरू कर दोगे कि मेरी मेंटल स्क्रिप्ट क्या चल रही है, क्या मैं अपना कैरेक्टर डिफाइन कर रही हूँ या मैं एक्चुअली एक्शन पे फोकस कर रही हूँ. दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकंड थिंग इज दैट you need to accept the fact that one, you are not supposed to do everything for the child, and two, you will not be good at everything. And that's okay. यहाँ पे मैं एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ, we put in so much of pressure on ourselves as parents to think कि हमको उनको मतलब हर वक्त एक आइडियल रोल मॉडल बनना है, उनका डिसिप्लिन भी देखना है, उनका खाना पीना भी देखना है, उनका पढ़ाई का भी टॉप स्टैंडर्ड हमको मेंटेन करना है, and all of that. I'll tell you something. For a child, and as a therapist, because I have so many adults coming to me who are carrying wounds and scars from their childhood, even if it was a so-called normal childhood, it still leaves a lot of scars. The only thing a child needs to thrive is a safe and secure attachment. If you can create a space for your child where you are like this solid pillar that the child can lean on, and they know it कि चाहे कुछ हो जाए, my mother is standing by me or my father is standing by me, or I will always have a safe space to come and be myself over here. These are not the people I have to please. These are not the people I have to live up to. These are not the people I am I'm trying to pass some kind of an exam for. If you can just do that, your child will thrive no matter where they go in life. So this is the most important thing to remember, and if you can just start focusing on this, your guilt will also automatically come down, because you will realize what a beautiful bond you will build with your child, that आपको जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी इन frustration moments में जाने की, because फिर आप दोनों एक दूसरे की safe space हो जाओगे, and then you will be able to walk through this journey together. This is a journey. Your child is growing towards an adult. You are also growing as a parent.
Let's listen to yoga instructor and spine specialist Shashi Sarda's tips to improve our bone and joint health now.
ये भी कहा जाता है कि 45 मिनट्स या 50 मिनट्स में उठ के 5 मिनट वॉक कर लो, है ना, या उठ के कुछ कर आओ. और भी ऐसे क्या लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस हैं जो हम कर सकते हैं जिससे कि हमारे बोन्स थोड़ी और इफेक्टिव रहें?
एक सिंपल लाइफस्टाइल चेंज होगा कि आप दिन में एटलीस्ट 4-5 बार नीचे बैठ के कुछ काम करें.
अच्छा.
इफ यू आर इन ऑफिस ऑब्वियसली आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट, बट अगर आप घर पे हो तो नीचे बैठ के खाना खा लो, नीचे बैठ के टीवी देख लो, नीचे बैठ के बातें कर लो. हॉल में सोफा के बदले सोफा के पास में ही नीचे बैठ जाओ. जस्ट इन द होल डे आप कुछ ना कुछ 4-5 बार उठो और बैठो. दैट itself is very good. It's very good for your knee health.
अच्छा. ओके.
Very very good for your joint and knee health. So just having the habit. And एक बार आदत पड़ने की बात है, फिर ऐसा होगा कि आप कहीं पे भी होगे आप नीचे ही बैठ जाओगे. You will prefer sitting down, than to be sitting on top. The moment you put that habit. So this is one lifestyle change that you can do. Secondly, trying to do breathing practices every day, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes. They are excellent, not directly to bone health, but indirectly they are very, very good for the whole body. So generally also the body comes around after doing the breathing practices. Then some more changes that you can do in lifestyle is always have hot water before sleeping in the night. Try and sip hot water. That keeps that little warmth in the body. So वो body सुबह इतना stiffness से नहीं उठते हैं. जैसे like rainy weather, you will feel that the bones are a little more stiffer. Many people sleep in the AC through the night, so in the morning they feel that थोड़ा tightness है, stiffness है body में. या बहुत जनों को सिर्फ morning stiffness जिसको हम बोलते हैं, like it's a very common term. Morning means body ज़्यादा stiff रहती है. When they get up and so just having little warm water, hot milk or something, a hot beverage, a hot green tea, whatever in the night before sleeping. Like a sipping hot tea, not like warm, lukewarm, like sipping hot tea. This is something good that you can do. Practicing Vajrasan every day after meals. So if it's possible, do it after breakfast and dinner. If it's not possible, sorry, lunch and dinner, but lunches are not possible because if you're out, definitely after dinner, but on the floor, on a mat, like on a carpet, not on the bed or not on the sofa. Start with 1 minute, 2 minutes, move on to 10 minutes of Vajrasan. Again, very good for your lower body strength, lower body joint mobility. Your ankles will never pain. You'll never have ankle issues. You'll never have heel issues. You'll never have, the shin problem, thighs, knees. If by just sitting 10 minutes in Vajrasan after dinner, your lower body limbs will be really more supple and more open. Glutes बहुत अच्छे रहेंगे just by sitting in Vajrasan.
Women entrepreneurs, don't miss learning from Udita Bansal, the founder of trueBrowns.
हमने सक्सेस की बात करी, हमने चैलेंजेस की बात करी. आई वुड आल्सो लाइक टू नो वन ऑफ द मिस्टेक्स यू मेड एंड व्हाट डिड इट टीच यू.
I think before I speak on this, as founders and entrepreneurs, we end up making a lot of mistakes बोलो या उसको learning बोल दो बाद में.
Yeah.
I think one thing is that we should be ready for it, and no failure or no setback should be a deterrent in our perseverance to keep building. So this is very important.
Yeah.
And this is more from a perspective of people who are wanting to build up now and wanting to start up now. One is don't do it all by yourself. Have a co-founder with you for sure. If you don't have a co-founder along with you, have someone in your team on your roles who has a different skill set than yours to build it along with you from day one or from day zero. The reason is this, that different skill set will either add speed to your growth or will add better quality. Both of these things are extremely necessary and extremely important to grow the business very, very fast. And especially today, when the number of startups and the number of D2C brands in India are increasing, so the competition is only increasing now, right? So you need to be very, very quick in terms of going live or understanding from what's working, what's not working, pivoting, whatever is needed. So preferably do not start alone. Have a co-founder or have someone along with you in your team. The second, I'm going to add two more things to here. The other, another learning I would really say is do not shy away of being your own brand promoter. I was very, very shy initially. I thought that I shouldn't do it. No, and it's important, as founders कई बार हमें लगता है कि नहीं हम इतना नहीं बात कर सकते अपने ब्रांड के बारे में, but today I will say that मैंने वो किया और मुझे आज की डेट पे लगता है कि नहीं मुझे वो नहीं करना चाहिए था. मुझे मैं अपने ब्रांड I believed in my brand. I started up something and I should have promoted it as much as I believed in it. बट आई थॉट कि नहीं, यू नो, एंड स्पेशली इन विमेन आई फील सो, उनको लगता है कि नहीं हम हार्ड वर्क करेंगे, फिर रिजल्ट आएगा, द रिजल्ट विल टॉक फॉर इटसेल्फ, व्हिच इज फेयर एंड फाइन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग डू नॉट डू दैट. दैट इज द की टू ग्रो. Also talk, like, if matlab, be your first brand influencer celebrity, be your brand celebrity and stay that. I mean, that is one of the things I would really tell people to do.
It's very difficult क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है, as you said, women को especially लगता है कि हम अपने ब्रांड के बारे में बात करेंगे तो people will be like कि ये तो हमेशा यही प्रमोट करती रहती है, अपना ही ब्रांड सेल करती रहती है.
But it's nothing like that. Do it shameless. It's not shamelessly also, but just do it with all confidence.
In the end, it's time to make journaling easy and consistent with leadership coach Shwetha Sivaraman.
So we wanted to talk about journaling for self-awareness, and when I announced this episode on Instagram, someone said कि please also talk about journaling for emotional well-being. ये क्या चीज़ें हैं, क्या इनके लिए हमें स्पेसिफिक प्रॉम्प्ट्स चाहिए या किस तरीके से काम करना चाहिए जिससे कि हम ज़्यादा सेल्फ अवेयर हो पाएं या फिर इमोशनली हेल्दी फील कर पाएं?
Definitely, I think journaling is a great way to check in on our emotional well-being from time and again. I think one of the ways that I usually like to practice this is just asking a simple question on a regular basis, saying, how am I feeling today? Right? So simply saying, today I feel, and just write what you're feeling on a regular basis. And if you were to do this just say for 2 or 3 weeks, you'll start noticing patterns, right? So on the days you feel anxious, what makes you feel anxious? What are those questions that you're trying to answer that you're not able to find an answer to? Or on the days you're feeling sad, what is making you feel that sad or depressed? Who are you meeting those days, or what kind of situations are triggering those feelings, right? You'll be able to start observing patterns of your feelings and also be able to recognize what is the root or where is this feeling coming from. A good practice also to use at this stage would be emotional wheels, right? So if you were to just Google emotional wheel online, you'll find a circle of so many emotions. The reason why I say use that is that sometimes we can't really specifically say what we're feeling, right? So I'm good, I'm fine, I'm well. If you go look at the emotional wheel, koi bhi words will not be there, right? But that's what we say when we say, how are you? I'm fine, I'm good, all is well, right? But if you were to start, we need to educate ourselves about feelings as well, right? There are nuances, right? Between anger and rage, also there is a difference in how you feel. So journaling is a great way to actually check in and say, what is the intensity of the emotion I'm feeling, right? You might be feeling anxious, but maybe not very anxious that, you're not able to breathe. Maybe there's just a little nagging worry even right now as you're listening to me speak, saying, is my kid okay at school? But that is like a regular level of anxiety. But maybe, you have great anxiety saying, what is the future of my podcast going to be? Right? And that is like a very intense anxiety, saying that it's taking up a lot of your mind space and a lot of your time, and saying, what am I going to do? How am I going to take it to
Don't tell me about that.
Right? So the intensity is different, and it matters because how you feel is depending on that intensity. So not just checking in and saying, how am I feeling, and identifying that right emotion on that emotional wheel. Also saying on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is this emotion? And then saying, what do I need to do to recorrect it? So another question that I also like to ask myself is, how do I want to feel? Right? A lot of times we don't realize that this emotion is something that can be manipulated by us also. We can reframe that emotion and change how we want to feel as well. It doesn't have to be something that is, rigid. Like, I think there's research these days that says that an emotion can be processed in 90 seconds. That's all it takes. So if you were to label an emotion, identify it and understand where it's coming from, allow to feel it, within 90 seconds, you can transform the feeling.
If you want to listen to the full episodes, you can find the links in the show notes. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड वैल्यूएबल लगा तो प्लीज हेल्प लिटिल फिक्सेस रीच मोर पीपल बाय शेयरिंग इट विद समवन यू केयर अबाउट. यू कैन ऑल्सो गिव अस अ शाउट आउट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. मेरा हैंडल है @littlefixespodcast. दिस हेल्प्स मी इन ग्रोइंग द पॉडकास्ट और बहुत सारे और लोगों की हेल्प भी होती है इसको सुन के. आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर योर टाइम. अब मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वेडनेसडे को. तब तक के लिए खुद से प्यार करते रहो और सदा सैसी रहो. बाय. When I started this podcast in 2019, I didn't know much about the tools available and struggled with poor audio quality, blurry videos, and even losing the recording. Now I have switched to Zencastr. Zencastr not only gives me high quality audio and video podcast production, but also keeps the recording safe with its multi-layer backups even when the internet is unstable. It has a post-production feature which automatically removes sounds like and also reduces background noise with a click of a button. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code LFP and you will get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Zencastr is free to try and their hobbies plan is always free.